Good morning. This is your daily weather briefing, continuing with cloudy conditions out there this morning and mild temperatures. Currently seeing our temperatures in the mid 50s and seeing those breezy conditions continue as well with peak winds up around 28 knots at this time. We are currently in a wind advisory. We will have some active weather moving into the area as we get into the afternoon time frame and continuing into the evening. We'll also see those winds gradually increasing as we move through the day today, expecting those peak winds up to 50 miles per hour as we get into the afternoon and evening time frame. And with some shower activity that will be moving through for the mid to late afternoon, we will have a chance of a few thunderstorms with some lightning moving into the area. And the Storm Prediction Center does have a slight risk for severe weather, so we could see a few of those storms possibly becoming on the stronger side, producing some stronger wind gusts with that as that moves through. If we take a look at the current surface analysis, we have this very broad and strong area of high pressure off to our west-northwest, and that's keeping a tight pressure gradient over the local area that will continue to tighten as this area of low pressure passes to our north. That's going to keep those increasing winds through the area as we move through the day today. And then this boundary here will gradually approach the area moving through the day and bring that shower and storm activity into our region. Behind it, we will see high pressure gradually build in, but we will continue to see some breezy conditions under the influence from this broad area of a tighter pressure gradient. If we look at the upper level winds from this morning, sounding fairly consistent as we move up through the column. Southerly winds near the surface with the peak wind 51 knots at 3,000 feet and staying in the 40 to 50 knot range as we go up through the entire column out of the southwest in the mid and upper levels. Our freezing level this morning was at 12,600 feet. If we look at the current visible satellite, we can see we are socked in the clouds and will continue to do so as this system continues to move through the area. Seeing some light radar returns over the local area, but that's mainly some elevated precip. Can't rule out maybe a light sprinkle as we move through the day today, but nothing very impactful until the bulk of this rain activity starts to approach again as we get into the middle part of the afternoon, mainly as we get around 1400 local and thereafter is when a bulk of this activity will start to move into the region. If we look at the short-term high-resolution model, see how we can expect that to play out as we move through the day. Again, very slight chance of a light sprinkle as we move through the day today, but as we move towards the 1400 local time frame, we will start to see some of that shower activity moving into the region with a chance of a light rain shower, and then moving past 1600 local. That's when we're going to see a bulk of the activity start to move into the area. As you can see, these higher reflectivity values being simulated on the radar here, indicating some heavier rain showers and possibly some embedded thunderstorms with this activity. And again, that slight chance for severe weather, indicating a chance for potential stronger storms, which with the main threat being stronger wind gusts possibly exceeding that 50 mile per hour threshold there. So we'll have that active weather moving through the area, and as we pass the 20 local time frame or 8 p.m., most of that activity will be pushing off the coast, and we'll continue to see a chance of a few lingering showers as we move through the overnight time frame. The model here does indicate maybe some late evening showers swinging through around 12 to 1 a.m. But the bulk of the activity should start to taper down. We'll see the winds relax briefly as we move through the early morning hours, and then moving into the day on Thursday, we'll continue to see plenty of clouds around, and we'll see those winds back on the increase, becoming breezy once again with a good chance of seeing a wind advisory as we move through Thursday, as well as into at least the first part of Thursday evening. And then overnight into Friday, we'll start to see gradual decreasing of clouds, and those winds will start to back off some while still remaining slightly breezy as we move into the day on Friday. If we zoom out, look at the longer term forecast here, we'll have a weak disturbance moving into the area as we move into Friday evening and through the day on Saturday. As you can see, model indicating some light precip around the region, not likely going to amount to much, not very impactful. If we do see any precip, just a low end chance of that as we move overnight Friday and through the day on Saturday. Cooler air settles in as we move into the end of the weekend. with some slightly below average temperatures, and then we'll rebound as we get back into the start of next week with those thickness values raising and seeing some seasonable to slightly above average temperatures moving into Monday, as well as continuing as we get into the middle of the week here. So if we look at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, we do have quite the color spread for our weather risk today, starting off with red conditions for our winds at or above 25 knots. We are currently in a wind advisory and expect to be in that wind advisory as we move at least into the first part of the overnight time frame. We'll see those winds gradually increasing, peaking out of the south-southeast, 20 to 25 knots sustained, with peak gusts up to 45 knots as we move through the afternoon. That's when we pick up that orange risk for precip as we pass the 1400 local time frame, with a good chance of seeing that shower activity starting in the area. And as we move past the 1600 local time frame, we increase to a red risk as that bulk of the activity will start to move through. And we also pick up that yellow risk for that thunderstorm threat, looking to be about a 40% chance at this time. And we keep a yellow risk for reduced ceilings of visibilities with that activity, and a yellow risk for some heavier rain, as we will see a chance for some heavier rain showers embedded with that activity, with those winds still remaining elevated, passing the 20 local time frame. We will continue to see some lingering chances of rain showers, so continuing with an orange risk and eventually dropping down to a yellow risk, and then the rain should mostly be over as we pass the 1 a.m. time frame. We'll start to see those clouds starting to break, but still remaining mostly cloudy and slightly breezy. As you can see, we expire the wind threat at or above 25 knots, back to green conditions by the time we pass the 4 a.m. time frame here. Again, still slightly breezy with mostly cloudy conditions, and we'll see our low temperature bottom out around 44 degrees for early Thursday morning. Tides are running normal. Thursday, mostly cloudy for much of the day, and then becoming partly cloudy for the later part of the day. We will continue to see breezy conditions with those winds picking back up, so good chance or likely chance of seeing a wind advisory criteria with that red risk for that threshold there, seeing a high of 52 degrees, right about seasonable for this time of year. Partly cloudy through Thursday evening, and we'll see breezy conditions early on, so continuing with a orange risk for that wind advisory criteria. And then we'll see those winds backing off slightly as we move into early Friday morning, but still remaining slightly breezy. A low expected around 32 degrees. And then once again, seasonable day for Friday. A bit more in the way of sun with some partly cloudy conditions and still remaining slightly breezy. We should be at or just below that wind advisory criteria, so looking at a yellow risk for that wind advisory for our Friday. If we look at the extended forecast here, moving into the weekend, we'll see some increasing clouds with that weak disturbance moving through the area. As you can see, just a 15% chance of maybe a light sprinkle or shower through the overnight time frame, and holding a 20% chance through the day on Saturday of that happening. Again, not expecting much if that is to occur, not very impactful and not much in the way of accumulation. Slightly milder for Saturday with a high of 55 degrees and staying slightly breezy, and then we'll see a cool down moving into Sunday with slightly below average temperatures with our high around 48 degrees but partly cloudy conditions. And then we'll be back to seasonable and above average temperatures as we move into the start of next week with plenty of sun for Monday and Tuesday. We'll see temperatures climbing into the mid-50s and eventually up to around 60 as we move into Tuesday. And we'll see those low temperatures staying above freezing for that time period as well. That's going to wrap up the 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We'll be back again tomorrow at 8:15 and 10 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your day.